Football is coming back, Mark Ogden. The Premier League is coming back. I know you are excited because we've been talking about it for some time. You can't wait to get there. One of the matches that you will be there live and in person is to see Manchester City up against Arsenal, one that we were expecting to see a couple of months ago, and not many people were giving Arsenal a chance in that one. I remember doing a hit just outside the Emirates. Here we are again. A lot has changed. So how are you expecting this one to go? Because like I said, it is kind of hard to judge where both teams are after the coronavirus pandemic break.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some real surprise results the first week or so because, teams have been out of action for 3 months, so we don't know what sort of fitness the players are at, how intense the training games have been at the stadium, at the training ground. So it's anybody's guess, really. I do think one thing that we've seen in Germany during the Bundesliga restart is that the best teams do tend to win. There's not been many surprises. So, but Man City, Arsenal, you'd imagine it's quite, certainly in terms of talent, there's a level playing field in that respect. But I do think that all being equal, I think City would win this game. But again, we just don't know where they're at in terms of fitness or commitment or, there's a lot of players on the Arsenal side that are out of contracts coming up soon or, question marks over the future like Aubameyang, so that might have an effect. But equally, the similar situation applies to City as well with people like David Silva and Leroy Sane, who might not be involved, but he's still, big question mark over his future.
And then we'll stick up in at Leroy Sane. We're definitely going to get to him in a bit. But something else that we've seen as well in the Bundesliga has been the fact that players have been, I suppose, coming to terms with the fact that there are no fans and people saying that takes away that home advantage. Do you expect to see that trend as well in the Premier League?
I think so. I think for me what it is, when there's an empty stadium, the best players just win because there aren't any kind of X factors involved. There's no, the fans can't, get to the referee or, put pressure on the referee. The fans aren't able to motivate the home team to give them that extra motivation. So it just boils down to what is, in effect, a practice match between two sets of 11 players. And when that's the case, ordinarily, if you're playing against a group of players that are better than you and there's no outside factors, the better team will win. And that's how I think it'll go. It's happening in the Bundesliga. So, if you're looking at, surprise games, surprise results coming up, I just don't see any if what's happening in the Bundesliga is replicated in the Premier League.
Well, you probably picked Manchester City to be the better team in this encounter, but overall in the season, they have been second best to Liverpool. We know that 25 points behind the Reds in this one. So what's their aim now from now till the end of this season?
City's aim now, for me, is the Champions League. They're still in the Champions League. They've got a first leg advantage over Real Madrid in the round of 16. So I'd imagine that everything is now focused on the Champions League. Yes, they're still in the FA Cup, and of course they'd want to win that because they can still win a cup treble, having won the Carabao Cup in February. But I think that it's all about the Champions League. Obviously, City might be banned by UEFA. They are banned, so if they don't have that successful appeal, then they'll be banned next season. So I think there's a lot of desire at the club to win the Champions League for the first time, obviously, but secondly, is to win it and say to UEFA, right, you've banned us. There you go. We're your champions. Ban us now. So it's all about the Champions League for me, and getting the next 6 weeks, getting players up to speed, getting them fit, and getting them ready for the Champions League to be the best team in that final eight. We have to get through to it.
And then you mentioned Leroy Sane earlier. A lot has been said about his future and a possible move to Bayern that's looking more likely than not. What do you see happening? Is he part of City's future?
I don't think he's part of the long-term future. I think, when the lockdown happened mid-March, early April, he was just about ready to come back and play a couple of youth team games just to get back on the road to fitness. So, 2 months on, 3 months on, he will be fit. He'll be fit to play, but I don't think he's going to go in straight into the team because he's not kicked a ball competitively since the Community Shield, in August. So I think, Sane might be a guy that he can turn to in the Champions League in August. I think getting fit now, get 6 weeks under his belt, but beyond that, his contract expires in 2021. I think this could be the last time we see Leroy Sane in a Man City shirt.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.